The UK is undergoing a seismic shift. 10 major new laws are reshaping how millions live, work, and protest. From city streets to home offices, these changes touch every aspect of daily life, from our right to gather to the data we share. Let's break down what these new rules mean for you and how they're redefining the boundaries of our society. Protesting has long been a vital part of British democracy, a cornerstone of free expression and a powerful tool for societal change. Throughout history, the streets of Britain have echoed with the voices of those demanding justice, equality, and accountability. But now, new rules are tightening the space for dissent, raising concerns about the future of free speech and the ability of citizens to hold power to account. These restrictions are reshaping the landscape of protest, creating a more regulated and potentially suppressed environment. The Public Order Act broadens what counts as serious disruption, significantly expanding the scope of what authorities can deem unacceptable during a protest. This redefinition has far-reaching implications for the types of actions that could now be subject to legal repercussions. This makes it easier for authorities to intervene and penalize protesters, potentially chilling legitimate forms of demonstration and limiting the ability of citizens to voice their concerns effectively. The threshold for intervention has been lowered, leading to increased scrutiny and potential consequences for those participating in protests. Tactics like locking on, a method often used to peacefully block access or draw attention to a cause, now carry severe penalties, potentially deterring protesters from employing such strategies. And repeat protesters can face protest banning orders, preventing them from participating in any future demonstrations, effectively silencing their voices and limiting their ability to engage in civic discourse. Organizers must navigate a riskier environment, carefully weighing the potential consequences of their actions and facing increased pressure to ensure compliance with the new regulations. In this climate, even minor disruptions can lead to arrest, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty that may discourage individuals from exercising their right to protest. This creates a chilling effect, discouraging open expression and potentially silencing dissenting voices within society. This is discouraging many from taking to the streets and participating in collective action, potentially weakening the ability of citizens to influence policy and hold power accountable. Protesters are being forced to adapt, finding new and innovative ways to express their views and challenge the status quo within the confines of the law. But the long-term impact on democracy and public feedback is uncertain, raising concerns about the health and vitality of civic engagement in the UK. The question remains, how does society thrive when its primary feedback mechanism is constrained, and what are the long-term consequences for democratic participation and social progress? The shift to home working has changed daily life for millions, and new laws now formalise the right to request flexible work from day one. Employees can ask to work remotely, but employers can still refuse on business grounds. Employers must consult before rejecting requests, aiming for fairness, but the balance of power remains. In-demand workers may have more leverage, while others face a return to traditional office routines. A hybrid model is emerging, but the ability to work from home could become a new privilege. The future of work is still evolving, shaped by negotiation and trust. Will this lead to better work-life balance or deepen workplace divides? In today's interconnected world, every click, every search, and every online action leaves a digital data trail, a footprint of information that can be tracked, analyzed, and even monetized. This constant stream of data raises important questions about privacy, security, and control. And now the UK's new Data Protection and Digital Information Act is rewriting the rules of this digital landscape, aiming to modernise data protection laws. The law aims to cut down on the often frustrating and endless cookie pop-ups that plague our online experience, seeking to streamline the process of obtaining user consent. But it also expands the circumstances under which businesses can use your data without explicitly asking for your permission, a move that has sparked considerable debate. This includes using data for internal research purposes, crime prevention initiatives, and other broadly defined legitimate interests. These changes mean that many data uses now require less explicit consent from individuals, potentially impacting user control. Furthermore, the Information Commissioner's Office, the UK's independent authority for data protection, is undergoing a significant restructuring, giving the government more influence over its operations. A move that is raising concerns among privacy advocates about the office's independence and its ability to effectively protect citizens' data rights. For everyday users, these changes may initially seem minor or inconsequential, but the underlying balance between individual privacy rights and the freedom of businesses to utilize data is undeniably shifting. Critics of the new law warn of potentially weakened protections for personal data, while supporters promise that it will foster innovation, reduce bureaucratic red tape, and boost the UK's digital economy. Ultimately, the rules of digital privacy are being rewritten in real time, with potentially lasting and far-reaching consequences for personal autonomy and the control we have over our own digital lives. Whether we actively engage with these issues or not, we're all participants in this ongoing experiment. Whether we fully realize the implications or not, shaping the future of digital privacy for generations to come. The new Environmental Protection Act. This landmark piece of legislation represents a significant turning point in the UK's approach to environmental stewardship, is a major step in holding the UK accountable for its environmental performance. It signifies a commitment to move beyond mere rhetoric and towards concrete action for its impact on nature. It acknowledges the profound connection between human activity and the health of our ecosystems. It creates an independent watchdog, a crucial element for ensuring transparency and effective oversight to enforce environmental laws. This body will have the power to investigate breaches, issue penalties, and hold polluters accountable, and introduces legally binding targets for air, setting clear standards for the quality of the air we breathe. Water, aiming to restore and protect our rivers, lakes, and coastal waters and wildlife. Protecting biodiversity and preserving natural habitats are central to the Act's objectives. The government must now meet long-term goals, demonstrating a sustained commitment to environmental improvement, moving from aspiration to obligation. This shift is essential for driving meaningful change and ensuring that environmental protection is prioritized. Practical changes include regulating single-use plastics, a significant step towards reducing plastic pollution, and deposit return schemes for containers. These initiatives incentivize recycling and promote a circular economy. The law aims to shift daily habits and reduce waste, encouraging individuals and businesses to adopt more sustainable practices. But its success depends on real enforcement. Without robust monitoring and penalties, the Act's potential will remain unrealized. Targets are set for decades ahead, requiring a long-term vision and consistent effort. So the challenge is turning promises into action now. The urgency of the environmental crisis demands immediate and decisive steps. The health of our environment hangs in the balance. The stakes are high and the consequences of inaction are severe. This Act is a critical attempt to secure a sustainable future, a future where both people and nature can thrive. The Renters Reform Bill is transforming the UK's housing landscape, aiming to make renting fairer and more secure. No-fault evictions are being abolished, giving tenants more stability, while landlords get clearer grounds for eviction. A new decent home standard will require all rentals to meet minimum safety and quality levels. A property portal and ombudsman will help resolve disputes and provide information. First-time buyers see changes to stamp duty and mortgage guarantees, but affordability remains a challenge. These reforms seek to rebalance power between landlords and tenants. The long-term impact on housing security is still unfolding. The UK's nest is being reshaped for millions. The Nationality and Borders Act redraws the rules for seeking refuge in the UK, creating a two-tier system for asylum seekers. Those arriving through official channels can gain full refugee status, while irregular arrivals face temporary status and fewer rights. Penalties for unauthorized entry and people smuggling are tougher, and some asylum claims may be processed offshore. The government says this deters dangerous crossings and targets traffickers. Critics argue it undermines the UK's moral and legal responsibilities. These changes fundamentally alter the UK's role as a place of sanctuary. The human impact is profound, affecting the most vulnerable. The nation's approach to migration is being redefined. New public health laws give the government stronger powers to respond to future health crises. The Health and Care Act lets the Secretary of State impose restrictions, mandate masks, and require isolation during outbreaks. Targeted vaccine mandates are now easier to implement in high-risk settings. The balance between personal freedom and collective safety is shifting, with more weight on state intervention. Emergency powers from the pandemic are becoming permanent tools. This ensures faster responses but raises questions about civil liberties. The collective shield is stronger, but at what cost to individual rights? The Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts Act expands police powers, especially around protests and violent crime. Police can now stop and search previous knife offenders without suspicion and issue serious violence reduction orders. Sentences for assaulting emergency workers are tougher, and electronic monitoring of offenders is increasing. The system is shifting toward a more proactive, robust approach to crime. Supporters say these tools are needed for safety, but critics warn of overreach and potential harm to community trust. Expanded stop and search powers risk disproportionately affecting certain groups. The balance between security and liberty is being recalibrated. The debate over police power and civil rights is far from settled. The Schools Bill is reshaping English education, pushing all schools toward joining multi-academy trusts. The Education Secretary can now compel underperforming schools to join these trusts, centralizing control and reducing local authority roles. New national standards for attendance and behavior aim for consistency, and a register will track children not in school. The goal is higher standards and better support, but critics fear loss of local accountability and a one-size-fits-all approach. The system is moving from local diversity to centralized management. These reforms are intended to drive improvement, especially in struggling areas. The way we nurture the next generation is being fundamentally transformed. The future of education is being rewritten. Recent tax changes are quietly reshaping the UK's financial landscape. Personal tax thresholds are frozen, pulling more people into higher brackets as wages rise, a process called fiscal drag. Corporation tax has increased, asking businesses to contribute more, while other allowances have shifted, creating uncertainty. National insurance rates have fluctuated, reflecting pressure to fund public services like the NHS. These changes affect nearly every household and business, altering take-home pay and planning. The government is balancing economic pressures with the need to fund the collective hive. Adapting to these new rules is key to financial survival. The ground beneath our feet has shifted. These 10 new laws are already shaping the UK's future. Understanding these changes is the first step to navigating them. How will they affect you, your family, or your community? Share your thoughts below. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you in the next video.